And we are back in the Catalyst studio for My Mayor, and joining me is candidate Robert Blackmon. Morning. How's life on the campaign trail?
Good morning. It is great. This has been a wonderful week. We had a debate Monday. We have a debate tonight. A lot of events, raising money, getting endorsements, and having fun.
That's great. So today's topic is we're with all the information that flows around with topics and issues and non-issues and people and the future. We really want to try and distill down the job of mayor to sort of three categories, so that as people are thinking about who they want to vote for, they can consider what you think are the three kind of core purposes of the mayor. So, how would you articulate that? Let's go with item number one.
In my mind, the first priority of a mayor is to keep St. Pete safe. And by that, I mean everybody in every neighborhood deserves to feel safe when they put their head on their pillow at night. I used to live in Midtown St. Pete at 17th Street and 13th Avenue South, and every night you'd hear gunshots. 3 different times I had a stolen car dumped in my driveway. Somebody tried to rob me there, and there was, the first week I moved there, 2 people were unfortunately murdered within 4 blocks of my place. The point is, no matter where you live, if you live in $1 million home or you live in, the lower income sections of our city, you deserve to feel safe, and that is the priority of a mayor. And we need to give resources to our officers to make sure that public safety is always at the forefront of any discussion.
That's great. So let's dig into a few strategies you have. What do you see that we're doing now that you think is working? Obviously, there's a new program that's been introduced to send non-police folks to handle certain problems, thinking that will produce a better outcome. There are budgetary wranglings. What do you think is going well, and what would you change if elected mayor?
So one of the first things, and one thing I do applaud Mayor Kreisman for, is leading the path to get us a new police department, a new headquarters. The old one was outdated, I know, because my city council office I started when I first got on the council, we were in the old PD, and I was in a cramped little cubicle that was the hallway to Ed Montanari's office. But we have a new state-of-the-art police department, which is great for attraction and recruitment of officers, and we are recruiting officers from a lot of other municipalities. What else I'd like to say is working is we have tried out the CALL program, which is the Community Assistance Liaison program, and we've had social workers go to non-violent, non-criminal calls, which is, I checked with the police the other day, and it's been alleviating some of the pressure on our police department. I was initially skeptical of the program, but the police union was in favor of it. Again, public safety, even of our first responders, in this case, social workers, is of paramount importance to me. What I would like to see changed and increased and improved is I'd like to see, if we have more officers, they could have a smaller geographic area, and more citizens in the community could really get to know their officer. And they'd feel more comfortable if a crime occurred, reporting the crime, giving a statement, and they would really know the faces of their officers. And another thing I'd really like to prioritize is, I believe the number is over 60% of our St. Pete police officers don't live in St. Pete. And that's not because our officers don't want to live in St. Pete. It's because of the rising cost of housing and cost of living in our city. So what I would like to do is I would like to roll some of my affordable housing initiatives into our first responders to prioritize having our first responders live where they work.
All right, that's great. Let's move on to the second item on the list.
The second responsibility in my mind of a mayor is to keep the city prosperous. And by that, I mean, we need to always encourage business growth, retention and attraction, but we also need to retain the historic character of our city and what has made us so special to get to this point through historic building preservation, but also preserving the quirky history of our city, because people like history, and that all leads to the prosperity in the economy. But also, we really need to do a better job relocating big companies to the city and also fostering the growth of our small businesses that have incubated here.
That all sounds great. Let's dig into some strategies for doing that. So you had mentioned building. Maybe if we look specifically at coding for new buildings, certain requirements that may help retain the character, or any other things you think that we could do that we're not doing now that would accomplish that.
Right. So every city employee is hardworking. I'm thankful for their service. That being said, our building department is overwhelmed. We are victims of our own success. We need to put resources towards prioritizing the streamlining of our building department. Again, I want to be very clear. I have no animus against anybody in the building department, but we have so much going on that we have to have more resources. We have to hire new employees, have better technology, and we need to streamline our systems so that we can continue to help with the permitting process. When we have permits get bogged down, that only causes a bubble of the ability to get permits out on the street, which slows down projects, which rises prices. We also need to foster a business-friendly climate where we are more relaxed with codes and we are more relaxed with the process to get businesses open, getting COs on the street, certificates of occupancy. But basically, getting businesses started, we need to work more with businesses. Another thing I want to say about this topic is the St. Pete Greenhouse, a great resource and essentially a business resource for small businesses that are starting, sponsored by the city. I would like to partner with the Greenhouse to expand its mission to not just help businesses get started, but also be a resource for citizens to go to if they're looking for a job, so that we can partner citizens with employers.
Thank you. So let's, what about item number 3, third item on the list?
Third item on the list, the importance of a mayor and their function is to keep St. Pete free. And by that, I mean St. Pete has become a destination for its culture, for its arts, but also for its accepting climate. We need to have the freedom to do business, the freedom to love who you love, the freedom to be who you are and to express your true self. I'm so proud that St. Pete has one of the most robust and well-attended pride parades in the Southeast. We need to continue to embrace our individuality in St. Pete and the culture of our city and what's made it get to this part. Again, that all plays into prosperity too, because the more you celebrate individualism, the more unique we are versus another city, which makes us more prosperous and also just benefits our entire economy and helps us grow in a smart, thoughtful manner. So absolutely keeping our city free and allowing people to be who they are and to continue to add to the wonderful tapestry that is St. Petersburg.
So when you talk about free, you're connecting that to acceptance, and acceptance has elements of understanding, has elements of mindset. As mayor, how will you move the folks who maybe aren't quite to that mindset yet more in the direction of that mindset?
You know, we've gotten into this all with COVID of becoming more detached. I think we need more attachment as a community. You know, if you live in St. Petersburg today, you have made the intentional choice to live here. And you want to live here for a reason. It's because of the culture that we have cultivated here in our city. We just need to bring everyone together and have dialogue, sit down, discuss the issues, but also not play these, partisan polar games that we've played for so long, where, even a mayor's race, the last couple cycles, has focused almost solely on national issues. The job of a mayor is very simple, as I've just said. I've distilled it to 3 points, but we just need to have job growth, infrastructure protection, protection of freedoms, increased business retention and attraction. And all of these things are how we bring people together because they're common sense, they're nonpartisan, they know no discriminatory lines. We just need to have stuff that we can all agree on brought to the table of the mayor's office to make sure we get results for all our citizenry, regardless of background.
All right. Thank you, candidate Robert Blackmon. Thanks for coming in. It's Cal Studio. See you again in a couple weeks.
Thank you very much for having me, as always. Appreciate it.